when last we left off with Corpse Party, we died to the pool. And I did not fancy doing that again, so I saved beforehand. And I do believe we have... Locker is empty. We do now have the pump room key, so we can actually go in there now. And before I go too much further, I'm gonna bring up the walkthrough and just have that on the side here. Just because I don't fancy getting stuck. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I ended up going back through the footage and I ended up looking everywhere but the spot. It was literally, I was checking right next to it. And that's just very annoying. Cry. Holy crap, nearly 3 years, that is wild to think about. Stop stealing my fries! No, you keep throwing them at me with fish! Also, thank you for the resub, thank you for the fish. So rusted and brittle that it instantly snapped as soon as it was turned. Fortunately, it had already done its job. I am tired. I did a little bit of venting about it on the Discord, but I hate working in InDesign. Not yet, no. Crude label written on a piece of tape attached to the device reads water pump. Right below it, there's a slot for some sort of lever or handle. Is it gonna break off of this? But, needless to say, I spent 3 days, 3 whole ass days, trying to figure out how to do one task in InDesign. And some of you may ask, well, Burb, why don't you just ask your teacher? Because he can't be asked. I have tried to ask him questions in the past, and sometimes he'll answer them. It's like, oh, hey, what size is this project? Are we doing Greeking or not? And Greeking, by the way, is just using lorem ipsum. But, if it's like, oh, hey, are we using this technique? Or, hey, what does this say? I cannot read it. He's like, oh, yeah, just do the best you can. Yeah, I was just catching up on that. Yeesh, yeah, it's not pleasant. Body of a female student, rotting and decayed. Tsukasa Tsurata. Let's see, long-term exposure to dirty, contaminated water has left it quite a mess. Hirune Tanaka. The dim lights around you are reflecting off of something deep inside the drainage grate. Try to fish it out. Fuck it, why not? What is this thing? Some kind of handle? Rusted valve wheel. Decayed student, Mitsuki Kamijo. Corpse of a very tiny individual. Being pickled in this filthy brine for so long seemed to have bloated its skin into a patchwork of pustules. Just elementary school? No! Poor little bean. See, one of the many reasons I didn't go to college, when I saw how much it was and how much of a shit show it is, no thank you. Well, that's the thing, like, depending on the school you go to, I do still believe it can be worth it. And my teacher, as much as I bitch about him, he is but one of a few teachers I have had at this school. And every other teacher I have had has been exceedingly better than him. Like, he is what I would refer to as a student killer, where he would kill their drive and desire to learn because they're paying for guidance that he is refusing to provide. Because he legitimately doesn't think it's his job to do that. I removed the wheel from the water pump and threw it into the pool. Hopefully, that'll keep anyone from finding the little treasure I left in the spigot. That bitch killed my friends. She can spend eternity without a tongue for all I care. That was every one of my classes. Oh no. Okay, like, first day of being in classes when they were there and got these, by the way, for like 5 weeks it wasn't being held. Oh. Hey, that's as far as it's gonna go. I think it's too rusty to turn anymore. It's a small hemp bag, stained with copious amounts of blood. It seems to have fallen from the spigot. An elementary schooler's student ID name tag is attached to it. Heavenly Host Elementary School's Class 1-6, Tokiko Tsuji. So you need to write a 25-page... What the fuck? I mean, writing 25 pages on yourself isn't all that hard. It just turned it into a biography of all the minuscule shit. Look, it's a girl's name. Doing through. Okay, now that's a little unreasonable. Especially if you've already got, like, other assignments taking shit up. Where are you taking that? Give it back. Fuck you, it's ours now. And the locker's still empty. Hold on, I might be having a problem. Hello, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can y'all hear me? So, yeah, no, we can't blame OBS this time. That was, the power. It flickered. So that does not bode well. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but if it does, that might take out stream. Which I'll be sad if it does, but... c'est la vie! Anyway. Same thing just happened to me today, if it... Actually, oh no. Let's see. Main building, first floor, West Hall. Well, it has been storming on and off lately, so that could be what happened. Congratulations on your arrival. Our most heartfelt blessings we offer to thee. We'll be anxiously awaiting your death. And once everyone's dead... that's when we'll all be able to meet again. And then the conquest begins. Okay, awkward clapping. So... which one do we give it to? Did my other message go through about stress? No, it is not. Or it did not come through. You did mention, like, the other, the message about, like, the class thing, but when my net was out, it didn't do anything. And hey, Ragnarok, welcome in! Good. And stressed. Due to school. But c'est la vie, you know? See, it's full-time student because of the stress from it and all the classes. They ended up passing out on the phone with someone and they had to call my house to get my parents to make sure I was breathing. Oh shit. Yeah, can't be having an aneurysm from schoolwork now. She's got no head above her chin! Ugh. She's getting blood all over me. It's all ectoplasm-y. How am I supposed to know whose tongue we've got? Pull out the tongue bag. Yes. The little girl's spirit is staggering toward Ayumi, blood gushing up from her gaping cross-section of head as she walks. Those should be able to do sign language. I think only the ones that know how to do ASL would be able to, though. Or, like, knew someone that needed it. Please be the right one. The Tokiko Tsuji. She would gasp if she could. This is yours, isn't it? I'm giving it back. Offered the spirit Tokiko's tongue. Sputter, cough, cough. What happened? The other ghost is headed this way. We have to run. Wah, 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 wah. We'll just go over here so we can save. And now we gotta go find Yuki's tongue. Well, there goes the ghost. Hey, yo, red dress, where you going? Weep, weep. Here we go again. Where the hell's it gonna take us this time? Weep, weep. Where your friend was splattered. The floorboards beneath that wall. Right under her globby entrails. Where the floor dips and the blood pools. Drip, drop, drip, drop. Smelly, smelly, icky, icky. Get in there good and dig it out. No! You're getting a good laugh out of this, you sick son of a bitch! God, that's where it is. I'm not sure we could ever bring ourselves to get it. Is someone there? Morishige! You're alive! How the fuck did you get into our closed space? Kishinuma and class rep too. I'm very glad to see you both safe and sound. I don't even remember what voice I gave him. I wasn't expecting to see him. What happened? It's a long story. So, where have you been? Oh, I was in the second wing until a short while ago, but suddenly lost consciousness. And when I woke up here, it felt as if the air had somehow changed. Oh, yes, and I did briefly cross paths with Mochida and his sister. You did! So they're okay too! They are. Though, when I next ran into Mochida's sister, it seemed she and her brother had parted ways. Morishige? What is that in your hand? Morishige appears to be grasping a blood-soaked pouch in his hands. Oh, this, I found it under the floorboards in the hallway. Just up these stairs. Is it some kind of charm? Do you want it? Please, take it. I'm really searching for a certain someone, so I have no need for charms at the present time. Received another tongue bag from Morishige. As with the others, there's a student ID name tag attached to the front. Heavenly Host Elementary School Class 5-2, Yuki Kano. Well, I should be going now. Is something wrong, class rep? You look like you've seen a ghost. Yes, one more thing. Mochida said we should all try to meet in classroom 1A. Oh, okay. I'm guessing. He doesn't know. It wasn't from, you know, Suzumoto's spot. Maybe it shifted over a few feet, and he got it from there. I mean, if he didn't, then... That really freaked me out. Did you see his hands? They were covered in blood. I was trying not to think about that, Yumi. And we can save. And you're putting a pun in the Discord, huh? Lies and slander. There is no pun here. Alright. I'm actually kind of thinking that in my game I would like to mimic the closed spaces to make them little areas unto themselves because I do like that idea. But I don't know entirely how I would pull that off in RPG Maker. Probably with like switches to determine or switches to basically like tie certain inventories to a switch. And then if a switch is on or off, it'll change the inventory accordingly. It's there. Okay. We have a pun in Meme Supremes. If eyelashes are meant to keep things out of eyes, then why is an eyelash always in my eye? It seems ironic to me. You made me read that with my two big googly eyes. Get back. Get back! This girl's missing an eye. All we've got is a tongue. Is that gonna be enough? What do we do? Pull out the tongue bag. The girl lowers her head and begins rocking slowly back and forth. Yuki Kano? She hasn't been called by her name in an aeon. This is for you. It is yours, isn't it? Offered the spirit Yuki's tongue. Thank you. Thank you very much. Burby, get in the pool! No, Burby doesn't want to get in the pool! It's full of blood and dead bodies! Also, hello Chevalier, welcome in! And a secondary welcome into Ragnarok, because I did see you earlier. Oh, and now Yuki's gone. We did it! We did it, Shinozaki! All three of them! All that's left is the girl in the red. No, no more! Every time I talk to these ghosts, I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to death myself. Do you have any idea what that's like? I keep picturing how I'll look when I'm dead, and I'm not even trying. Well, I mean, you're in a schoolhouse of death and decay. It's kind of understandable. Like, you're seeing a variety of ways you could end up. It's understandable that you would start getting the intrusive thoughts of how you would look in the same scenario. It just pops into my head all on its own. And it's such a horrible image. You're never safe from my bullets. Oh no. I want to go home. I just want to go home. Back to my mom and my sister. And Mochita. Shinozaki. Alright, next one is mine. Then, okay. Whoa. So just try to pull yourself together. Whoa! God damn it, not again! This one's big too! Oh, nose is right. Uh-oh. Woof. Was I knocked out? Flick on a lighter. Alright, sound off. Who's not dead? Where am I? I'm not in the murder dungeon again, am I? Is this a classroom? For real? Wake up, Ayumi! We're home! Wake up! She's breathing at least. Come on, wake up already, Ayumi! Yoshiki. Huh? What? Take a look around you. I can hardly believe it myself. But here we are. Give him a quick shake. Just lift her up, shake her by her shoulders. But she's already awake. No way. We're back for real. Is this really our school? I can finally grab a pad from my desk. It's really real. Check it out. Here's my desk. Mine too. It's right here. I can't believe it. So it's true. Yeah, we made it. We're home. We're home. Fuck yeah! Suck on that, world! I know. There's a reason people ship these two. They are adorable. Various notebooks inside labels like the 2-9-day duty log and attendance roster. It's stacked with teaching materials, including the remote for the overhead projector. Soon to be dead. Potentially. The shelves are filled with personal effects belonging to the Class 2-9 primary and assistant homeroom teachers. Miss Yui even has some cans of cat food in here. I'm not sure that sort of thing she should be stored in the classroom, though. Yeah, I'm wondering why she would be storing, like, cat food here. I know it's for her cat, but why not just store it at home? We're collecting to buy a bouquet of flowers for our dear friend Suzume, who will be leaving us for a new school after the festival. 300 yen per person. Contact the Yumi Shinozaki for payment. For the cats that are around here, I mean, maybe. I never thought I'd live to see home again. Guess there's no Satoshi or Miss Yui or anybody else, huh? Venturing out in search of others, you find that even the janitor has likely gone home. The lights are out and the halls are pitch black. Only the red glow of the light next to the fire extinguisher offers any respite from the quaint, quiet darkness of the school hallway. Hallway? Hallway. Standing around the darkened corridors of our school building at 8 in the evening. It just feels so surreal. I know time is a little fucky-wucky in Heavenly Host, but at the same time, there is no way your little asses have been in there only an hour, because it was almost 7 when you were putting shit away. There ain't no way it's only 8 o'clock. No fucking way. You better be checking your cell phone again, because that time cannot be right. Ah, delicious. And now to add some water to it. Damn, time travels fast. Well, it's more like, I think in Heavenly Host it's supposed to be slower, maybe? To make it last longer, you know, because, like, they like the torment. I gotta run, have a good stream. Okay, ZMC, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a good evening. As the thunder and rain grow in intensity, the windows begin to condensate with moisture, turning white in contrast to the corridor's sea of black. Is this reality? Or is it but a fantasy? Was everything up until now just a dream? I mean, if it was a dream, it would have been a bit of a dickhead move of them to just leave you laying in the classroom and not drag your asses to the infirmary, and I received head pats! Thank you, Chevalier. Where am I right now? And what am I doing? You're standing in a hallway, my dude. And also, what the fuck is up with the thing I feel on me? Hold on. There's something stuck to me. Better. Maybe you should find a way to get out of there. Probably that would be the smart thing to do. Uh-oh. What? Shizaki, what's wrong? What the hell is this? It's not over, is it? Nope. Why isn't it over? Why? Damn it. It's you! Go back! Don't come any closer! Aww. Her art looks so cute in this style. Look at that big ol' eye. It was a rainy after-school evening. Just like this one. On the day I was kidnapped, I remembered I had a fight with my mom that morning. Why is she telling us this? I have no idea. Why are you asking me? I didn't want to see your face. So, after school, I decided that instead of going home, I'd park myself in the outdoor walkway for a little and watch the rain. That's when Mr. Yoshikazu showed up. He sat down next to me. I told him all about my fight with Mom, and he listened really closely and just kept saying, uh-huh, uh-huh. He was sick and couldn't speak much, but he was a very kind man. I really liked him. But then... You too. I'm so sorry. She's so tiny. She must be the 5th grader. Yuki Kano, right? Thank you for what you did back there. For making the effort to help those of us who were killed in that school. Didn't we succeed though? Why are you still here? You didn't. But we returned your tongues. We gave you back the ability to tell your story. And we even got your murderer to repent for what he did. Is it just that you can't forgive him no matter what? Appeasing us isn't about forgiveness. It doesn't matter if we forgive or not. Repentance is between the criminal and the victim. It's the sole act capable of moving us. And we exist as fragments of the sacred ground upon which Heavenly Host is sealed. I believe that moving us is your best course of action. But it's not enough. His repentance just wasn't enough. So you're saying his words, the words spoken by the doll, weren't good enough to appease you? That's not... So, what then? Why do you feel the need to trap one innocent stranger after another in that godforsaken place? You child spirits are the ones who summoned us there, aren't you? That's not true. The hell do you mean by that? We're just the cogs that hold the closed spaces together. But you killed Suzumoto, didn't you? Wait. Huh? Let's hear her out. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised by that because she was ready to tear Ryo a new little spectral asshole for like killing Mayu, even though he wasn't a part of it. But now she's like, "Hey, wait, we should hear the ghost spirits out." And I don't know what happened to make that change. I mean, I guess because, like, Yuki is speaking calmly, that's kind of changed her demeanor on it, but it's still a little odd. I'm just glad I was even able to get the two of you back to safety. Why the hell are you suddenly so concerned about us? I heard about a situation like this from my sister once. A lost soul whose life was ended violently and abruptly, leaving her with a mountain of worries and regrets. It's kind of like stopping short at the edge of madness, with all sorts of thoughts and feelings swirling around in your head. Your kindly nature and your sudden hatred and panic begin to spin around and around, and you just start acting out without any sort of control. Your sister's some kind of medium or something? Yeah, something like that. So, what you're saying is, this little girl and the creepy little girl we met before are two sides of the same coin? I feel for you. I really do, so please, bring the rest of them back. Mochida, Mrs. Shishido, and everyone else too. Bring them all back home. I can't. Come on, you can do it, right? I don't think that's possible anymore. Why? Why not? Those closed spaces have eaten a lot of innocent souls. Far too many, in fact. The grudges of those who died there have filled every last corner of them. There's no room left. And because of the agony and pain, has nowhere else to go. It's begun feeding on the minds and souls of those like us who are bound there. It won't be long before I turn back into a vengeful spirit who attacks people like you without mercy. Uh-oh. And so, we're going to lose you as an ally then. So, why don't you just hurry up and bring them home right now? Isn't there any way for us to save Mochida and the others? Oh, there is, but you ain't gonna like it, probably. Heck. There may be one way. What is it?
think you already know. You have to return to the closed spaces. Find all 4 of us Heavenly Host serial kidnapping and murder victims. And put us all to rest. Then the closed spaces won't have their cogs anymore. So they should begin to fade from existence. And you just might get your friends back. You expect us to go back? And this time, instead of just having one person left to appease, we have to go back to the drawing board and appease all 4 of you. Why? Why couldn't you tell us the reason our previous efforts weren't good enough? What is there to hide? It's just something I don't want to remember, but if you really want to know, I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything that happened. Yuki's spirit gently took a hold of Yumi's hand, or Ayumi's hand, and in an instant, their 2 beings seemed to merge together into a single mind. What's going on? It hurts! It hurts!
And your brother just pulled a $200 card out of a $3 pack. Nice.
Huh?
And the Seagull bot has told me to stretch, so we'll take a moment to stretch. Stand up and stretch your arms, stretch your legs, stretch your wings, stretch whatever you got. We won't take too terribly long. Number 1 card in the newest Pokemon set. Oh, nice! At some point, I should have probably, like, make a little gif of my bird stretching. Just for shits and giggles. Maybe give it, like, a little sweatband. With those floofy, puffy socks on the ankle. Oh, you mean like leg warmers? Yeah. That would be fucking adorable. Image of your seagull being an 80s style gym. I've actually got some 80s style earrings I could like attach to the bird too. They're just like, giant acrylic hearts. They've actually got like mica flakes in them to look like opal, which I think is very pretty. But yeah, I need to get back into the habit of stretching more because I'm starting to get like a tightness in the back of my legs that wasn't there before. And that's because I've been slacking on my stretches. I should probably just like have a timer set up on my computer to tell myself to stretch periodically. Because I do a very shit job at remembering it on my own. Ugh. Look, I am a bird. I like shiny things. What do you expect? Now then.
What happened to me? Didn't I pass out? Why am I fully aware right now? I can't see a thing, and I can't move. It's like that feeling you get when you're really tired. Sleep paralysis, I think.
I mean, I don't know if being really tired has anything to do with it. I mean, it might, but like... I always assumed like sleep paralysis was just like that space between being awake and asleep. So, I don't know. I don't know what causes it. I'm not gonna say anything on it.
Where? Why can't I move?
犯行現場で唯一生き残った赤いワンピースの女児、篠崎幸子。
Sachiko Shinozaki, the little girl in the red dress, and the only survivor of the horrific murders that occurred in Heavenly Host Elementary School.
幸子の家族は事件後、
Following the incident, Sachiko's family fled from the area, moving to another prefecture to escape the frightful memories that remained here. Strangely, however, I have been unable to locate any other records of the Shinozaki family. No matter where I look, the only information I can find about them comes from newspaper reports on the Heavenly Host murders. Granted, when an elementary school becomes the stage for a grisly incident such as this, perpetuated by none other than the principal's own son, it stands to reason that the scandal would serve as the primary focus for public interest, with all other details fading into the background. So, of course, after learning that Sachiko was safe, further news of her whereabouts was largely ignored in favor of the media circus surrounding the school. But there's more to it than that. People weren't just uninterested in learning of Sachiko's history or whereabouts. There was simply no data to be had.
Oh. Sorry.
I can't move my body because of sleep paralysis, I guess. But I can clearly see the room I'm in now. There's one boy and two girls in here, aside from myself. I recognize them. They're the children who were killed in Heavenly Host during that incident. But they're still alive. Unfortunately, they're all bound hand and foot and just sprawled out on the floor. And so am I. That's the real reason I can't move. Somebody, please save me! No, stop, no, please! Her eyes. no, I can't see. Now I'm blindfolded. I can't see a thing that's happening to me. And since my hands and feet are tied up, I can't remove the blindfold either. That just makes everything so much worse. I guess because I can't see, I begin to listen more intently. Frightened sobbing. The helpless cries of the other children echo off the walls of the cramped room. I'm so scared. It feels like my head's going to explode. What are you doing to me? Why am I blindfolded? Untie me! Cut the ropes! I want to be able to use my hands and feet, please! Please! I kept begging and pleading, but all I heard in response was the man walking away from me. So you need to head out. My brother wants to talk and play tonight. Have a good stream, Burbles and Burbleman. Be safe. Oh, okay, Yoda. Thank you for hanging out as long as you have, and I hope you have a fun time with your brother. In order. Oh, okay. In order? Uh-oh. Oh. I've never heard screaming like this before. It's pure, primal terror, cutting through the air like a perfect sine wave? The fuck? What the fuck does trigonometry have to do with terror? The fuck? I am genuinely confused. It feels like he's been screaming for an eternity. I think he's being killed right now. My god, what the hell is he doing to him? No one deserves this. Why isn't God allowing him to fall unconscious so he doesn't have to suffer? It's been at least a half an hour now. Those inhuman screams of a young boy being ripped apart from the inside have finally come to a halt. No! No, no, no! Without even a single moment of silence, the first of the girls in line is the next to scream for her life. And the symphony goes on. God, I can't take any more of this. I'm losing my mind. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it! Is it still going on? Come on, just die already. Die already? God, what's wrong with me? You know what? I don't care. Just get it over with and leave me in peace. Finally, after hearing a sound like a heavy object being dropped, the noises stopped, and the room grew quiet again. Your turn, Ayumi. The footsteps are getting closer. All my hair's standing on end at this point. Everything below my stomach feels like it's frozen. Like I've suddenly been stricken with severe diarrhea. Oh. You know, there's more a way to describe your guts freezing up that don't involve shit. Like, it's popped up quite a few times. Like, you could feel like a ball of ice is formed in the stomach, like a load of bricks are weighing you down in your guts, like... Like, there's other ways to describe that feeling. In order. God, why am I relieved by the silence? The kid next to me just died. And now it's your turn! Someone's got me by the hair. They're pulling my head up. I'm taking off my blindfold, which means I get to see the face of my killer. The 4 missing children were found in the basement room at Heavenly Host Elementary School. Found in a basement room at Heavenly Host Elementary School. Unused and officially sealed since the building's construction. When authorities entered, they were greeted with an inhumanly horrific sight. Based upon the evidence at hand, the murder weapon was determined to be a pair of large sewing scissors found in the hands of the accused. Investigators suspected some hesitation on the man's part. However, as the deceased victim's wounds did not indicate that his full strength had been used. Nonetheless, he had clearly acted with extreme malicious intent. The official cause of death for the 3 murdered children has been listed as a loss of blood following removal of the tongue. But the actual state of affairs was not quite so clinical, nor even so pleasant, if you can believe it. The following details have been extrapolated from information previously unreleased to the public, or at least previously unreported by news outlets. These details of the crime are based on the official police testimony of Sachiko Shinozaki herself. Evidently, the victims were bound, blindfolded, and spaced out on the floor. Then killed one by one. One was repeatedly stabbed in the abdomen with the aforementioned pair of scissors, then had many of his internal organs forcefully dug out. Oh god! His discarded innards were found partially buried beneath the earthen floor of the basement room. Another was stabbed in the head dozens upon dozens of times, to such an extent that all flesh and bone above her jawline was essentially minced away. With my blindfold removed, the sight that appeared before me was more horrific than anything I could possibly have imagined. The person staring back at me, brandishing a blood-soaked pair of sewing scissors, wasn't the large man from earlier at all. It was one of the children. It was a little girl, her face dyed red with the blood of her victims.
And poor Yoshikazu's just panicking and shaking in the corner there. Honestly, in later iterations, I don't know why they didn't keep this. This is... because I don't remember seeing this.
She was staring intently at me with soulless gray eyes, and then she just started giggling menacingly. She was opening and closing the bloodied scissors over and over again, and the sound kept echoing through the room. Then she took those dull, rusty, thoroughly blood-soaked blades and slowly brought them closer and closer to my left eye. How? Why? Why is it you? No, no, no! The third victim was stabbed in the left eye an indeterminate number of times, until her eyeball became soup-like in consistency. She was eventually just left like that, slowly bleeding to death in horrible agony. Strangely, it was only after these mutilations had already been inflicted that the killer went back and severed the victims' tongues. Learning the truth about these proceedings is shocking even to me, and makes it nearly impossible to accept the murderer as anything but a monster. And bearing witness to every moment of this was a 7-year-old girl named Sachiko. In many ways, she's the most pitiable and long-suffering of them all. But it was through her tearful, frightened testimony that Yoshikazu Yanagihori was officially charged. Now, going back to the hunt for information on this unfortunate girl's whereabouts, it was her words that ultimately led to Yoshikazu's sentencing. Therefore, it comes as no real surprise that sensitive information pertaining to her and her family would be withheld. That's to be expected. What's not expected, however, is that there's not even the slightest trace of this information left to find. It's as if it simply never existed. Therefore, I cannot help but consider alternate possible explanations. And I remind you, this is mere conjecture. But one question keeps nagging at the back of my mind. Was Yoshikazu Yanagihori really the murderer of the 3 victims? Is it possible this crime was not actually perpetrated by him at all? Think about it. In his final days, Yoshikazu was incapable of communicating with others through speech. And despite his childlike reversion, he'd always been a personable and friendly man. As the saying goes, he wouldn't have hurt a fly. All his relatives, friends, and neighbors confirmed as much, shocked to hear that such a kindly man could commit these unconscionable atrocities. He certainly had no motive for the crime, either. There was nothing for him to gain from it. And then again, he may simply have lost his mind. Look at his father. It was around this same time that Principal Takamine Yanagihori suddenly began speaking in tongues and acting in a most peculiar way. Not to mention scribbling incomprehensible gibberish all over his walls, as if possessed. He seemed frightened of someone, and would often be found crouching in the corner of his office, moaning and thrashing when visitors came by. If he could wind up in such a beleaguered state with no warning, then perhaps so too could his son. I believe that we're looking at a curse far more powerful than anything man could devise. From the time it opened its doors to the day it closed them forever. Heavenly Host Elementary School's sealed basement room has existed as some form of cursed ground. And to find the underlying cause, we must go back beyond the infamous kidnapping and murder incident. Back a whole 20 years. I believe I may have found a clue that could shed some light on the situation. It may be a bit far-fetched as leads go, but it is a lead nonetheless. Regrettably, since Heavenly Host was not only closed down, but demolished altogether, and another school built in its place, it's no longer possible to investigate the basement room directly. But my protege has found what may be the next best thing. Something that could make the impossible possible once more. Preparations are being made to pursue this lead even now.
詳しくは次回の連載にてお伝えしたいと思う。楽しみにお待ちいただきたい。
Be sure not to miss the next installment. It may be the scoop of a lifetime. Kokibiki 2003-722.
Oh, so it was in July. Continued in Chapter 5!